Hey y'all, my name is Tiffany and this is going to be my first time ever posting on YouTube. I really love collecting books, as you can see. I wish I had more. I'm working on it. But I'm going to do the 13 questions for the mid-year survey thing that everybody's doing on books. So the first question is favorite book. So my favorite book of 2019 so far has been Verity by Colleen Hoover. It is a thriller, a very, very much psychological thriller. It's an adult book. You definitely don't want to read it if you're faint of heart, and you definitely don't want to read it if you can't handle some very, very disturbing images about children. Needless to say, it was very good. It was one of my favorite books, and I recommend it to everybody. So the second book says, or the second question is a sequel that you've read. Well, I haven't read any sequels this year, but in a sequel that I'm anticipating is be called Between Burning Worlds by Jessica Brody and Joanne Rendell. They've come out with a book, a dystopian novel, which I'll talk about because it's in my pile over here. But this is one of the books that I'm anticipating for the sequel. So the next book is what's a book you have but you haven't read but you want to. Dig by A.S. King. And to be honest, I don't know 100% sure what it's about. It looks a little different, but I got it in a book box for a mystery book, and I've seen good reviews, and I've seen other individuals on YouTube talking about it. So it's going to be on my TBR list very soon. And then in a book that I'm anticipating for the second half of the year to read is Wilder Girls by Rory Power. And it's actually on its way here. I just don't have it yet. I saw it at Barnes & Noble. It looks really good. From the synopsis, I mean, everybody's saying that it's... let's see if I can find it. Is a feminist Lord of the Flies. So anything that has to do with quarantine and sci-fi stuff, I'm on board with. Anyway, it's coming in the mail, so that's my anticipated second half of the year read. The next book is what was a book that you were disappointed with, and it would have to be the book Spectacle by Jody Lynn Zarok. I cannot pronounce that properly. I got this in a book box, and the synopsis is so good. It's like Paris, 1887. There's a girl who can kind of like not really see the dead, but she can see things that have maybe happened to the dead, and it kind of leads you on a roller coaster through Paris in the late 1880s to try to find the killer. I don't know. It was a disappointment for me. I just didn't like it as much as I thought I would. The next one is a book that you surprisingly liked. And this would be Saving Megan by D.J. Palmer. If any of you guys have seen The Act on Hulu, this book is kind of remnant of that. It's about a mom and a kid in a hospital who thinks the mom has Munchausen syndrome. Anyway, you just kind of follow this family through the trials and tribulations of what's going on with their daughter. You know, whether she's sick, is she not sick, is somebody doing it to her? But I can tell you that the end is very surprising. I was completely shocked. The next one is a new author to me, and I actually have two books for that because I couldn't make up my mind for just one. So one of them is Bridget Kemmer. Can't pronounce that right, sorry. And then Trisha Levenseller. And I got both of these in a book box. And A Curse So Dark and Lonely, I think many people have read this and heard about it. It's just a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, and there is a second book coming. And I could not put this down. I read it in a day and a half. And Warrior of the Wild, the same. I read it in like a day, couldn't put it down. This one's a little bit different. It's about this girl who's trying to prove to her father that she can take over as a warrior, and you know, she has to try out among the men, and a couple of guys end up betraying her. She ends up kind of in the forest of unknown. You should definitely read this. It is really good, and this is one of my first 5-star reviews of the year. Okay, and so the next one is a book that's kind of older. I think it came out in like 2016, 2015 maybe, but it's called Beautiful Burn by Jamie McGuire, and this was my fictional crush. So my fictional crush is on Tyler Maddox, and he is the final Maddox brother to kind of get a book. Jamie McGuire did a whole series, and I think this was like the 5th book, maybe 6th book, about the Maddox brothers. But anyway, Tyler is such a sweetheart. He is very much taking care of his girlfriend who has an addiction to alcohol and drugs, and well, I'm a chemical dependency counselor, so anyway, this book spoke to me, and we all need a little bit of Tyler in our lives. Okay, and then the next book is a fictional character. I think it was that you really liked. I didn't write these questions down very good. But it was Lee in Girls of Paper and Fire. Again, I think many of you guys have read this, so I'm not going to really go into it, but you know, she's the lowest caste. She gets sent to live on at the palace, to be a paper girl, to be a servant to the king, along with other girls. But anyway, throughout the book, she gains self-confidence. She learns who she is. She takes risks to get where she's trying to get in life. And she becomes quite the fighter. It's a really good book, and I can't wait for the second one. The next one is What Was a Book That Made You Cry? And that's going to be Saving Megan by DJ Palmer. Again, because it was, if you have children, if you have kids, this book, it really hits home. So I don't know, it was difficult for me to read at times. A book that made me happy, honestly, I can't say that I really found a book that made me happy, so I don't know. I'm going to leave it at that. So the next one is books with beautiful covers, and I have so many. I'm going to throw them all down. Sky Without Stars, which is the first book of that Between Burning Worlds by Jessica Brody and Joanne Rendell. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about it because I did not a minute ago. Basically, it's about this dystopian world where everybody's moved to different planets, and they've basically got a tier system. You've got level 1, 2, 3. Level 1 is all the people that are super rich. Level 3, of course, is individuals who are living in broken down vessels when they were moved from the planets. They basically... It follows 3 people in 3 different sections, and then they all come together, and it is just really good. These 2 authors paint a fantastic world. I was totally immersed from the beginning, and it is a thick book. Let me just say it's a thick book, but it is really good, and I've told everybody about this book, and if you get a chance to read it, you absolutely should. Okay, and so the other beautiful covers, Stain by A.G. Howard and Girls of Paper and Fire. I bought all of these books based on their covers. I did. I'm shameful. I know. Shameless. And then Wicked Saints. You can't really tell by looking at the cover, but it's like almost metallic looking without being metallic. It came in Owl Crate, so it's got the special edition cover, and oh my god, it's just gorgeous. Okay, and then for the last question, it says books that you would like to finish before the year is over, and that would be for me Wicked Saints by Emily Duncan, Stain by A.G. Howard, Red, White, and Royal Blue, which I have started, and I didn't think I was going to like it. I got it in a book club or a book box, but I'm actually really enjoying it. I don't read a lot of adult books, as you can tell. The ones that I showed you today were all mostly books that I've gotten in a book box. We Hunt the Flame is another one, and Sorcery of Thorns. I cannot wait to read this. And there's a couple more I'm just going to give a shout out to. I'm not going to pull them off the shelf. But I'd like to read Aurora Rising, A Court of Thorns and Roses, and the Six of Crows duology. So those are just a few of the books I would like to read this year. Plus I will definitely be getting more books in my book boxes, so you know I'm gonna read those as well. Anyway, I'm gonna end with that note. So happy reading, y'all, and hopefully King of Scars, that's another one I want to read. But yeah, so that's what I got for you.